My name is Cara Brookins. I'm a single mom of 4, and I built my own house by using YouTube videos. I was in a really dangerous relationship for more than a decade, and I knew that in order for my kids to see a better life, we were going to have to do something really big to change it. The most important thing my kids and I needed was a safe place to live. I didn't have a lot of money, but I figured out by watching YouTube that if we bought the supplies, we could put the house together ourselves. Everyone thought I was crazy. I was a 110-pound computer programmer. I was not the type of person who would build a house. Every one of us had a job on the site, everything from the 11-year-old mixing mortar to my 15-year-old son running the nail gun, and the 2-year-old, of course, was comic relief. Our construction loan gave us only 9 months to build the house, and 9 months to the day we finished. Not only did we end up with a house to keep us safe, we ended up with a project that would change the way we saw ourselves and what we were capable of forever.
This is incredible. And joining us from the home that she built for her family, Cara Brookins, who's in Bryant, Arkansas. Cara, thank you so much. Listen, you know, the intention of this show, we were highlighting women who decided to take on these projects and learn online how to conquer it. My crew happens to be right now in studio, all men, and I hear them saying, wow, watching your story, because at the end of the day, this is inspiration for anyone. You were going through an unimaginable time in your life, difficult to say the least, and you had your children there with you. You know, how did you find the wherewithal to say at that time of great danger in your life that I have to do this for me and my kids?
You know, I think that anybody who takes on something like that has a defining moment, you know, a moment where everything changes. And for me, it was driving my kids to school, looking in the rearview mirror and seeing these kids who were broken, who weren't going anywhere. And I knew in that second I had to do something big to change it. And the baby steps I was taking weren't going to do it. I had to give these kids confidence to go out into the world and do something big. And I had to give them a safe place to come back to. So it was just the second of like, I have to change this and I have to do it fast.
You know, you in the video showed us all of your children, no matter their age, involved. But of course, I zeroed in having a toddler myself, even the 2-year-old in there. I think it's one thing, obviously, to try to teach these life lessons to our children. But in reality, we have to teach it to ourselves before we can teach it to them. So how are you balancing your own emotions with keeping, you know, no pun intended, your foundation of this house you're building and your own soul strong?
Well, you can imagine like having Moses out there on the job site, what that was like. And it was tough. I was the only adult out there. I'm the only one who has to pull all of this together. And on the days when I feel myself falling apart, I'm not sure we can pull this off. You know, it's easy to look back at and say, oh yeah, you know, we built this house, but every day out there, I thought we were going to fail. And I have to rally these kids and pull them together and pull from inside of me, like, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I am going to stay out here till 2 o'clock in the morning working on the site. Nothing is going to stop me.
And nothing did. So I'm still taken aback, though, that you learned this all online. This was before YouTube was, you know, the explosion. It's 2007, by the way. You went online, you found this. I thought when I, you know, was screening the video of the home, I was prepared for the big reveal to be like this tiny little cottage. I mean, you built a house. You built a house that I would want to live in. Anybody would want to live in. You didn't just build something small to make do. That is a house.
That's what happens when you give your kids pencils and a piece of paper and are like, you know, help me draw the house plan, guys. I mean, they were drawing their own rooms. So that's how that happened. It kept getting bigger and bigger.
And you really learned it just by looking at these videos? I mean, I would think trial and error just from watching the videos on the how-to.
Oh my goodness, the trial and error. I mean, nothing went right the first time. And this was watching videos again, 2007 and 2008. So watching on the computer, no smartphones. So yeah, watching him, and then the next day going out to the construction site and asking the kids, so do you remember how they framed that window? You know, do we put the 2x4 here or there? And then, every time we did something wrong, which we did 6 or 7 times before we did it right, we just grabbed the reciprocating saw, cut it apart, and go again.
Gosh.
That was one of the best lessons. Like, you don't have to know how to do something, you just have to have the determination to figure it out.
Ah.
And then have those basic skills. I knew how to hammer a nail, I knew how to cut a piece of wood. If I did that over and over and over, I'd end up with a house.